In this video, we're going to be talking about the differences between distance and displacement. So first, distance. Distance is the total amount of ground that you have covered. So every single step of your journey, you add everything together. Because you add everything together, it is always positive. Distance does not always tell you your exact location. Also, no direction is included. So with distance, it is always positive, and there is no direction. All right, so let's say that we have this object, and the object starts here at -20 and ends at +20. What would be our distance that we travel? Well, first, from -20 to 0 is 20 meters. From 0 to the +20 is 20 meters. So as I said with distance, you're going to add everything together. So when you add this, you should be getting 40 meters. On the other hand, displacement is your change in position. It tells exactly how far you are from the origin. So at this point, you know exactly how far away you are from the origin. Displacement can be positive or negative. The positive and negatives tell you the direction. So with displacement, you do know the direction that the object has moved. There's also a formula for displacement. It is the change in position. And remember that this delta symbol represents change. Anytime you find the change in something, you are going to be solving the final position minus the initial position. All right, so with displacement, these negative and positive symbols. So first let's talk negative. If we have a negative sign with our number, maybe it's -20 meters. -20 meters means that the object has either moved 20 meters down, 20 meters south, 20 meters left, or west. Any of those directions could be included by that negative sign. On the other hand, if we have a positive displacement, let's say that it's +10 meters. That means that the object has moved up 10 meters, north 10 meters, right or east 10 meters. All right, let's look at this scenario. So we have one object, this object that moves with the yellow path. We're going to solve for displacement 1. So the object starts here and ends here. What's the displacement? Well, it is 20 meters to the left, or -20 meters, or -20 meters west. All of that would be considered correct because it is to the left of the number line. Now, if we look at our second object that has moved with this green path, it again starts here and ends over here. So what would be our displacement for our second object? Well, it moved 20 meters to the right. So 20 meters to the right, or +20 meters, or +20 meters east. All of these answers would be correct. All right, last thing, I just want to show you a visual for the difference between distance and displacement. So you have a starting point here, and the person walks along a journey. Every step that they take, it's a pretty long journey, and then finally they end over here. Now, distance takes into account every step. So the distance would be if you measured this entire path all the way around. Probably be a pretty big number. Maybe the distance would be 200 meters. However, when you talk about displacement, displacement only takes into account your starting position and your ending position. So you would subtract. Maybe this is 0, maybe this is 50 meters away in the southeast direction. So your displacement would be 50 meters. So a lot of times your distance can be a way bigger number because distance, you add everything up. Displacement, you usually subtract. All right, that concludes our lesson, except a quick review on vectors versus scalars. So remember, we've already talked about vectors. Vectors have both magnitude and direction, so a number and a positive or negative sign. Because of that definition of vector, that means that displacement is going to be a vector because displacement does contain that direction component, and it can be positive or negative. On the other hand, remember we talked about scalar. Scalar only has that single value of just magnitude. So just this one thing. So it only provides you with a number. That means that distance is going to be a scalar quantity because it does not include direction. Direction is not included. Distance is always that positive number, just the number, no direction. All right, if you have any questions, please leave a comment.